Hey everyone, welcome back. So if you saw my latest short about the drink stick containers, this video is what you've been waiting for. So I have a bunch of these and I've been saving them, plus we had a bunch and we put them in like a clear plastic storage container, so we ended up with a bunch more. And it's everything from generic off-brand to the name brand to the big picture packs and everything. So I have a bunch of different sizes and shapes and styles. And I have quite a few different ideas, so I'm probably going to break it down into probably 2 videos, and I'm going to show you what I have so far. A couple of them are like a 2-step process where I've already done some of the work because they have to sit and dry. And then a couple of them we're just going to do on camera. So hang on, let me move this stuff and we will get started. Okay, so the first one is this. This is one of them that's going to be like a 2-step process. This is the finished piece, and then I'm going to show you how I got to this part. So what it is, it's a little pocket, and it has a pocket, like a spot here, so you can tuck stuff. And it goes sideways like this on your page, so then when you glue it down, it can either be like a corner tuck, so you can have like a really big area, or you can glue it down on 3 sides and you can have a pocket just coming off of the side. So then when you grab your journal, let's get, all right, here's my space theme because it's closest to me. So when you put it down on your page, you can glue it down all the way to the corner if you want, and then that would be good for like your page tuck. You can also glue it down kind of in the center, and then depending on how wide your journal is, if your journal is a lot wider, you can glue it down you know, closer to the middle or closer to the other edge, whatever. Now you can also have it be the page tuck this way. That would be totally fine. But anyways, you're going to glue it down however you want it, just a little tuck on 2 sides, or glue it down on the 3 sides and have like a little pocket, but it's going to go sideways. And then depending on, you know, if you don't do something that's like one-dimensional, you could do it on either side of your page. But these are super easy. I originally made this, well, not this one, but I originally did these quite a long time ago, and I made them out of just plain paper, but this is nice and sturdy being that it's cardboard. So I thought this would work really well. So let's try this one first. Okay, so the first thing is you're gonna grab one of your boxes, and it doesn't really matter which one, so we'll just do this one. Okay, what you're gonna do is you're gonna cut the top and the bottom of these flaps off. And then go ahead and make sure you save, especially these, because we're gonna make, they're the perfect size for tabs for your page. So make sure you save these. We're gonna make tabs out of them. And then these, it has the spot where it hooks in to the box to close it. Now I'm not gonna be able to get it. There we go. And you could save this also, because if you have like an envelope, or you know, you're making something that opens and closes, and you can use these 2 pieces to make a closure. So save those also. And we're going to do this side. And again, you get 2 tabs, and then you get 2 pieces like this. So these are good to save. I mean, obviously, you know, if you don't have the room, don't save everything, because there's only so much space. But I'm going to show you how to use some of the offcuts if you choose to. Okay, so now we have this. So now inside, there's that little seam right there where the 2 boxes come together. you're just going to open it up. Okay. Now you're left with this. So all we're going to do to make this is we're going to cut it right here at this this first seam here. So essentially you can get 2 out of 1 box, and then you would have like this little extra piece. Now on this one, I only covered one side, and then as you can see, this is still the main paper, or the main box. I only did one side because, you know, essentially we're going to be gluing this down. Now if you wanted to cover it with even just some plain paper, that way you didn't see it, like if you had your corner tucked, that's fine, that's up to you. I didn't in this one because I didn't feel it was needed, but I mean, you can totally do that. So I have my scrap bin. I'm just gonna see if I can find something, and I like this here. Let's see, it's not big enough. Okay, we'll do this. Okay, so what I did is I used Mod Podge for this, and it worked really well. My only issue with Mod Podge is you have to let it dry forever. And I mean, I get that's the point, but for this one, we're gonna try and use our glue stick and see if it works okay. Now, I'm not sure, it might not, but I think it should probably be okay. And I'm using the Scotch Create glue stick. I actually ordered one of the Yoo-hoo sticks when I needed more. And honestly, I wasn't a huge fan. I was really disappointed. I thought I was going to like it so much more than I did. And I ended up getting the Scotch Create in place of it because I just didn't care for it. But I mean, if you like that one, by all means, you know, use your favorite. But that's the one that I seem to like the best. It seems to hold up really well, and that's just what I like. So hang on, let me grab a wet wipe real quick. All right, now my fingers won't stick to everything. And I have a dry one also to wipe up the excess glue. Okay, so now we're just going to cut this out, and you can kind of rub over this with your bone folder to just kind of make sure it's super duper stuck down. And then I just bring back in my cutter because this just seems to be the easiest way. I mean, you could just snip it off with your scissors, it doesn't really matter, but for me, I just find that this is super easy and quick. Just like that. Now we can go ahead and ink if we want to, or we can save that for the end, because like I said, we're going to cover this before we glue anything down. So I think what I want to do is just use that same paper, because especially with this one, all the different spots are just a little bit different. So even if you use the same paper, it's not going to necessarily look like the same one. Now, the only thing I will say is if you have enough paper, which I do, you're going to go over the crease line, the score line, just a little bit, because otherwise when you bend your paper, you might see this, this cardboard show through. And I mean, it doesn't matter if you see it, it's not a big deal. But just to make it look maybe just a little bit more finished, I just go over the edge just a little tiny bit. And it doesn't have to be very much. It can even be as little as like 1/8 of an inch or something. So that's all I do. All right, so now we'll just kind of line it up. And of course, I'm not trying to be super precise because we're just gonna chop it off anyways. Okay, so just like that. And then again, just go over it a little bit with your bone folder. trying to get the excess glue off because I didn't go all the way out here. Okay. So just like that. And then again, I'm going to cut it. Okay, so I cut that apart. Now just make for sure that this is set just for maybe a couple minutes or so, and make sure it's nice and pushed down, because then we're going to fold it. So just like that. Make sure it's nice and burnished. Okay, so there is that. And then see, it was just a little bit, so probably like maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch. Now I'm going to grab some ink, and we'll go ahead and ink around it. Okay. And you can also round the corners if you want to. I've done that before, and that looks cute. It's kind of just personal preference. I mean, as with a lot of the stuff that we make, you know, it's however you like to design it. But for this one, I'm just going to do the straight edges. And so, you know, this will depend, like the sizing will depend on your box. And like I said, there's all different styles and sizes depending on the brand that you get. Okay, so just like that. And then we'll go ahead and glue our little pocket down. Now for that, I am going to use the Fabri-Tac, just because I feel like it might hold it just a little tiny bit better. But then I did also, on my other one, I used some of these little clamps, and they just came from the Dollar Tree. And I clamped it down for just a little tiny bit of time, just to make for sure that it was nice and stuck and it held well. All right, so I'm just going to glue it on the two sides here. Just like that. And I mean, as of right now, I mean, it's stuck. You don't really have to use the clamps, but I did just for a little extra insurance, just because I feel like there's more force behind, more force and more bulk behind cardboard than there is paper. Now, if I was just using, you know, regular paper, I would just kind of smooth it down for a couple seconds, and then it would be like good to go. But I feel like there's more, because it's more bulky and it's thicker, it has more chance of like popping back up because there's more of a resistance. So there's that. And then of course you can leave it just like this, or you can decorate it more depending on, you know, the type of paper that you use. I think this is really decorative, and I really like it. I think maybe we might come and add some lace or something, but I'm going to set this aside for a minute and let this set up really well, and then I'll come back to it. All right, so one of the other ones that I thought we could make was, again, just a piece of box, and this is another different shaped box. And I tried to use some acrylic paint and paint over it, kind of like a gesso type effect, but the paint, as you can see, is pretty translucent still, so it didn't really cover up any of the words or anything, and that's all right. We can use it for paper. But what I thought I would do is, I have this, and essentially it's kind of like what we just made, but turned sideways. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do is make almost like a little ladder step thing for like small ephemera and tickets. So I'm just going to cut this in half. Now, if you have a bigger one, like if you use the picture pack, you could probably do it in thirds. But for this one, I'm just going to cut it in half. So This is about 4.5 inches. So we're gonna do 2 1/4, and that'll pretty much roughly be half. Okay, so as you can see, just like that. So I'm just going to get some paper to cover these. The only thing I will say is, depending on what paper you use, like you can't really see that much, but depending on what paper you use, you just want to make for sure that you can't see through it. Now putting it here, I know you can't on camera, but like in person, I can still see the barcode, so I don't want to use this. You'll want to make for sure that it's something that's either A, dark enough, or B, thick enough that you're not going to be able to see through it. Like we could just cover, yeah, you can't see through that, I don't think. So we could cover this. Yeah, let's try that. We'll just use this one and then maybe we'll alternate. So I'm just going to do like we did on the other paper. I'm just gonna use the glue stick and coat it and then lay it over top of it, and then we'll cut it out. All right, so there's that piece. And again, you just want to kind of reinforce that fold. Okay, now you can decide if you want the same, if you want to do that book page again, or if you want to do something different. And I kind of like this against it. So I'm going to use this piece. And we're going to do the same thing. Now on this side, you don't have to, bring you back in camera a little bit more. You don't have to go over that, that fold line, because this is all going to be hidden, because we're going to glue it down. Now you don't actually even have to go all the way down to the bottom. I just am, because that's just what I'm doing. But you can save paper and only go like 1/4 of the way down if you want to. Okay, now again, we're just going to trim this off. All right, so just like that. And then we'll fold that up like that. So that's really cute. Now we'll go ahead and ink around this, and then I'm going to do the exact same thing that we just did on our other piece, wherever I put it. Oh, here it is. So I'm just going to do the exact same thing. I'm just going to use the book page and then this paper here, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I covered the other one and I inked around both of them. Now what we're going to do is we're going to glue the pockets together, and then, we're going to glue the pockets together, and then we're going to glue both pieces together. Okay, so again, I'm just going to use the Fabri-Tac. Push that down so it's nice and secure. And then we'll do this one. And you could use the art glitter glue also. I just feel like the Fabri-Tac might have just a tad bit quicker gripping power. That's why I chose to use that for these projects. But either one would work. Okay, just smush that down. All right, now we're gonna glue one pocket on top of the other, and you can decide here if you have a choice, like a preference as to which one you want to use, in which direction. Both of mine are identical, so it doesn't matter to me. The nice thing about using book page though is you can, if you get it on there pretty pretty straight, you can actually use that as your guide. So that's actually one really nice thing about it. And again, you only need about 1/4 to 1/8 of an inch, so not very much. So I'm just going to kind of stick it on there, make sure it's semi-straight, just like that, and then just kind of smush it down like that. And then now from here, again, you could round your corners if you want to, or you don't have to. You can decorate this with like little pieces of things. You know, you could run lace on this, whatever you wanted to do. And one of the things that I should have done and I didn't, I glued this down flush, like all the way across here. If I would have thought about it, I would have just glued it on 2 sides, or 3 sides, I mean. But one thing I will say, if you do glue it down to make this a pocket as well, you're gonna want to make this a lot deeper. So, I mean, you know, we have 1, 2 pockets, and then if we glue it down, we have a 3rd pocket. So for me, that's perfectly fine. But then, you know, like I said, you could put some lace on it, or little ephemera pieces, whatever you want. So these are the 2 things that we made out of our drink stick boxes. And let me grab a couple of things and I'll be right back and we'll decorate it just a little bit. All right, so I just have a couple little stickers and some lace and some bling. So I thought for this one, I would just put lace all the way down this side here. Now you can put it in the center, off to the side, down this side. I'm gonna do it down the pocket side. So I'm just, again, gonna use some Fabri-Tac. Stick it down like that. And then that lace is all I'm going to do for that. It's simple and it's cute. I really like it. So there's that one. And then for this one, I just have this lace here that I'm just going to do across the bottom. Just to dress it up a little bit. Use the butterfly sticker. This came from Temu also. Just like that. And then, whoops. And then I have some of this gold bling, and I think I'm just going to do 3 and put it right on that lace, just to kind of dress it up a little tiny bit. And it has the self stick to it, but I always like to add a little extra glue. That way I know for sure that it's gonna stick. just across there like that. And that's it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Again, if you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. And I will catch you again soon. Till next time, guys. Happy crafting. Bye.